President Omar al-Bashir ruled with an iron fist for 30 years until his overthrow last year. He faces charges of genocide and crimes against humanity now, and while legal proceedings against him are ongoing, Sudanese exiles around the world are beginning to return in a bid to help their homeland emerge from 3 decades of autocratic rule. Let's have a look at our next report.
The Bashir regime destroyed everything, says 55-year-old civil engineer and ex-University of Calgary professor Sadiq Mohammed. Mohammed gave up the easy life in Canada to return to help rebuild his homeland. Having spent 33 years in exile, Mohammed says it is his duty to take part in building a new Sudan.
There is no comparison between the salary I was paid there and the salary I have here. It's difficult, but thanks be to God, so far my situation here isn't so bad. This is my sacrifice for the sake of the country. So if we were to calculate the gain, we will never return.
Mohammed is an executive at the Sudanese Mineral Resources Company, tasked with mining the country's gold. Help from experts like him is sorely needed, as the economy is in crisis. Laid low by long years of civil war under Bashir's rule, US sanctions, and the 2011 secession of the oil-rich South. The company's director, 38-year-old Mubarak Ardol, spent 8 years in exile. He was appointed by Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok, a fellow returnee, who has made striking peace with the rebels who fought Bashir a priority. Ardol aims to boost the revenues of the SMRC, the African country's top moneymaker.
I left Sudan in 2011 after the war and the peace agreement between the parties. From the city of Kadukli, I left as a citizen with the clothes I had on and left the home I had been building for 5 years. I left alone. I left my family at home as I thought that this conflict would not last long.
Spurred by the promise of lasting peace, hundreds of exiles have begun streaming in from around the world. Among them is a 64-year-old journalist, Mohammed Abdul Hamid. A returnee from the Netherlands, he has now come back to take the reins of the state news agency SUNA.
It was not a difficult decision to come back to Sudan. I thought about the salary, about my profit and loss, or how will I manage my affairs, and what will my wife do, who lives with me and our children, who grew up abroad. So it was a decision that I required a family consultation. But for me, I had made my decision. I had to return, and so I did.
But the return of exiles from the US, Britain and the Gulf to fill government posts has not been universally welcomed. Abdul Hamid says that the returnees must exercise caution so as not to appear entitled to the newly opened government posts. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.